Hi everyone, this is Ev, and I am with Holistic Healing Astrology. Today we're going to talk about how the lunar eclipse affects everyone. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can find it on YouTube, Holistic Healing Astrology. Please like it if you like it, share it. And if you'd like to have a reading, always available. Just get in touch with me. You could Facebook message me or give me a shout out through the phone. But I really appreciate your support. And we'll move on now. Again, we're going to talk about the lunar eclipse. So we have a lunar eclipse coming up in November on the 30th of this year, 2020. So what's important about a lunar eclipse and how does it affect you? Well, the first thing you could do is look at your chart. Everyone should have a chart. It looks like this. And you could look and see where Gemini is in your chart. And that's where the eclipse is. So the eclipse is in Gemini, which is mutable and air. What that means is it's transformational. It changes what has been in the past, and it makes it into something new. It's also an improvement, and it's air. Air has to do with intelligence, it has to do with information, it has to do with knowledge, it has to do with the brain, that kind of stuff. So with the new moon, with the full moon type energy of an eclipse, it's like a full moon on steroids. So that means that your emotions get involved with this Gemini energy. Gemini energy is all about communication. It's all about seeing both sides, because they are the twins, you know, the good and the bad, but they like to look at everything, and they take a look at things on a very intellectual level, not so much a feeling level. But because we're dealing with the moon is the feeling part of the horoscope. It is all about emotions, habits, nurturing type energy. So what we're called upon is to look at the way we're processing information out there and how it affects us emotionally and how does it change our life. So for example, look and see what's happening with the information that we receive from the media. The media usually comes, mainstream media usually comes on the television or on the radio, and it, in my opinion, it seems like it is controlled by big corporations or big influences. However, with the onset of social media, YouTube, and the whole internet, you can find out basically anything you want at a tip, just a click of a finger. But you have to use your intelligence and understand, is this good information? Is this coming from the source? Who is the source? Has the source been tainted? Has the source been paid to say what they're saying? A lot of factors out there. So, and there's always like corruption. And I mean, like, if you find a study, if you did a study and you find the results, are the results coming from the actual results of the test or the experiment, or is someone telling you, well, can you make it look like this instead of looking like that? Because if you tell the whole truth, then you make our company look bad. I'm just using an example. So we are being called upon right now to look at our sources of information, understand where they're coming from, and what it specifically means to you. So the media right now is giving us a lot of information, and it's constant. If you've been paying attention, since COVID started in March, with this lockdown, and you start looking at the media every day, you're being exposed to this onslaught of negativity, who's dying, how many new cases. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Not much has really changed as far as the COVID. This is a long process, but I won't get into why it's such a long process. That's a whole nother video. I talk about COVID. I talk about the planets involved. They are slow moving planets. So what we need to do now is to look at the eclipses. So you look and see where Gemini is, and if it's in the first house, it has to do with your personality, if your identity. If it's in the second house, it has to do with how you gather information for your value or your resources and stuff like that. Also, this eclipse is hitting on other planets like Uranus and Venus. Venus has to do with possessions, it has to do with love, and it has to do with beauty. So we may be getting new knowledge and information about how to better enhance ourselves, how to make more money, or how much we think of ourselves as far as our value, self-esteem. And then you also want to layer in the house. I'm going to be putting out another video. It's going to be a long video on all the houses, so you could look at your chart and understand that in the first house is always where 9 o'clock is on the clock, and I hope it's not backwards on the wheel, but just know that it's 9 o'clock, and then it goes counterclockwise around the wheel. And the most important houses, I'll go into that, and I'll also go into what each house area means. So the lunar eclipse is going to transform our thinking, and it's going to take the stuff from the past that we've kind of not been dealing with. It's going to resurface, and then we're going to abruptly change, because that's the or sudden change. That is the Uranus part of the energy. So I hope that this makes sense to you. The other thing I ask you to do is do your own research. Don't count on mainstream media to give you 100% of all the details of what's going on in the world. And if something has to do with you personally and you want to get good information, don't count on the media, because it's not always 100%. And I'm not talking about political. I'm just talking about everything. So another thing to do right now is to cleanse our emotions, because the eclipse affects us for 3 months. It'll take us right into the new year, where we could do intentions and New Year's resolutions and things like that. Also, when the new moon comes, which will be the solar eclipse is when the moon is together with the sun. That is a solar eclipse, and that's like a new moon. And when the sun is opposite the moon, that is a full moon, lunar eclipse. Okay, so that's just the breakdown of it. So you could also do a ritual, light a candle, and put your intentions out there. And it's also a good time to release anything that doesn't serve you. You could even burn it, like in a fireplace or in the sink, just to be safe. So I hope you found this video informative, and I hope you take a look at your chart. If you do want a reading or know someone that needs a reading, reach out to me, 757-513-7771, or go ahead and message me in Facebook. Please go into the YouTube and subscribe to the channel so you always and get the notifications, and give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and share any of this information to anyone that may like the content, and go ahead and let me know what you like to hear about next. I thoroughly enjoy your feedback, and if you would, give me some idea of what you're working on to release for this eclipse, and what kind of communications and sudden changes are occurring for you. I'd love to share and have you share. For me, I'm looking at a lot of information that I'll be putting forth with my newsletter, and just to give people more information and to help you guys awaken, because we're going into the age of Aquarius. So that's one of my life purposes, but the main life purpose is to help the planet heal the emotional traumas that we're going through. I do intuitive readings and the astrology, those two tools. I also use the pendulum. I use this metal. It's a really cool pendulum. And I will be doing a video on how to use your own pendulum and to get your yes/no answers from the energy of Earth. And because, you know, the Akashic Records, everything is all in the knowing. So it's amazing. I like to do the pendulum over good foods and maybe sugar and things like that. You could see even supplements. You could see what's good for you and what isn't, just by the pendulum. And but that will be another topic. I thank you again for your time, and it's very special for me, that very humbling that you all listen. And so go ahead and give me you.